Peace be with you. Dear friends, welcome to Living Flame Daily Gospel Reflections for Tuesday in the first week of Lent. Gospel according to Matthew chapter 6 verses 7 to 15. When the disciples had gathered around Jesus on the hillside, he began to teach them. That was his normal life, and he would like to inspire his disciples and those who are listening to him. But then today he is taking a very important topic. He says, when you are praying, do not heap up empty phrases as the Gentiles do, for they think that they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask him. Dear friends, why did Jesus say the Gentiles were heaping up words? Was it a mistake on the part of the Gentiles? Well, Jesus clearly says that that is not their fault at all, because they were trained in such a way that they have to multiply words, and by multiplying words they will be heard. But Jesus is just giving a solid foundation to his disciples without criticizing. What does he say? Do not be just like Gentiles, because their way of thinking about God is quite different. Only when they shout aloud, God will listen to them. But Jesus says, well, God already knows what you want. God already knows what you require. Jesus is getting to this very important aspect of our life, that is prayer life. Jesus has often picked on the religious leaders of that day during his teaching. I would guess that there was a sense of frustration with them, because these are the people that should have known better. These are the educated people. These guys knew what the Bible said, and yet for many of them it appears that the struggle to put it into action, it appears that over time the position has maybe taken precedence over the message. The religious leaders had become more concerned about themselves and their ability to uphold all the laws and to appear holy. But then Jesus strikes important aspect of life. Now Jesus says there is nothing wrong with public prayer. Public prayer is good. Now, when we are in a religious congregation or religious community, we always pray publicly. Publicly in the sense we all pray together. But Jesus is insisting something else. Why is it that you are praying? What is the meaning of prayer? Prayer is meant to be special time with you and God, and time where you can communicate and have fellowship. Nobody needs to know. It is a loving conversation with the one whom we know loves us. That is what Saint Teresa of Avila says. Jesus is saying the same thing when he speaks about prayer. Seek the Father. Seek God in your prayers. Seek his heart and his audience. Seek his will. And that's why Jesus gives a wonderful prayer, Our Father. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Our Father, I don't know what kind of relationship you have or had with me, but then you loved me. You loved me from the moment I was conceived in my mother's womb. That is why, hallowed be your name. God is holy and to be revered. This is a holy prayer and not one to be taken lightly. We are not just praying to some being like the pagans, hoping for rain or good harvest or whatever. We are praying to God. We are praying to the Creator of the universe, and Jesus calls him Father. That is a tremendous invitation to all of us to address God our Father. Your kingdom come, your will be done. God's kingdom is right here. And it's only by doing the will of God that God's kingdom will be established here on earth. That's why your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. What do we need? Our daily bread, daily sustenance, spiritual bread, material bread. But we require that to be alive, to have energy, to have power, to work for God's kingdom. And then forgive us our debts as we also have forgiven our debtors. That's why Jesus says, also we have forgiven. That means if God has to forgive us, we have to forgive our neighbors. Of course, forgiveness is not going to be easy. It is the most tough challenge we all of us have. But then Jesus includes it very clearly in this prayer. And do not bring us to the time of trial, but rescue us from every evil. And then Jesus adds something very special that was in the Our Father. For if you forgive others their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. Praying, fasting, and almsgiving. But today, most importantly, Jesus insists on prayer. Prayer is not counted in hours and days or the volume of prayer. The most important is simplicity of prayer, just being there in the presence of God and loving Him with our whole heart. And once we are energized, it is our turn to come out of prayer and to be prayer, that is, loving our neighbor as we love ourselves. God bless you.